How we gon' go like this? Come about twice in a row like this. When you got mans out of flow like this. Acting out like you ain't know about how we gon' go like this. It don't make sense that we roll like this. Now you got mans out of flow like this. Thought we was a team, yeah. Now we all out talking about it ain't work. We was on top, had this thing on lock. 10 a.m. shots in the web, nah, trying to bounce back. Can I get a witness? How you gon' say that my business? When I broke things, didn't think it hurt like this. Think it feel like this. Lord, I need a witness. How we gon' play in a winning this? Now we got bodies on both sides of the fence. Stay playing the fence. What we gon' make of this year? Couldn't tell moms that we split. Couldn't go through, had to risk it. How to put us up with some lease, yeah. What we gon' make of this year? Everyone knows that we split. Couldn't go through, had to risk it. Finna go, man's finna go ghost, finna go ghost, pull up in your city with the roast, now
hey, welcome in.
Most, tinted all the winners and the lows, I'm like, okay,
welcome.
Tell me I stutter, okay, you feeling Oscar, you play, okay, yeah. Can I get a witness? How you gon' say that my business? When I broke things, didn't think I heard like this, think it feel like this. Lord, I need a witness. How we gon' play in a winning this? Now we got bodies on both sides of the fence. Stay playing the fence.
Good morning. We'll do this right.
Finna let it go.
Welcome. Come on in.
Finna let it go. I finna let it go. Go. Finna let it go. Can I get a witness? How we gon' play in a winning this? Now we got bodies on both sides of the fence. Stay playing the fence.
All right, welcome. Come on in. I don't know what I just did. I need to redo.
How we gon' go
rewind
like this?
And redo.
Come about twice in a row like this. And you got mans out of flow like this. Acting out like you ain't know about how we gon' go like this.
Welcome. All right, so listen, today we're going to be talking. I need to just redo my lipstick real quick because I forgot my method because I haven't put on lipstick in so long. I forgot my method, so I'm going to just redo the method that I remembered after I forgot. So listen, today we're going to be talking about this situation that is going viral on the news right now. And I am just needing 1 second to just finish my lipstick. Give me 1 second and then... All right. That's the foundation right there, the foundation of the lipstick. And then put in my pop of color. Let me put my pop. Oh, okay. All right, then I just have to wait for it to dry, and then I'll blend it in. Okay, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. This video has the word, give me a second. This video has the word transgender in the title, so the platforms are going to truncate the views because it has the word transgender in the title. You know, we try to pretend as if we live in a society that we can discuss certain things, and we live in a society that is it is controlled by rampant, unchecked capitalism. And on YouTube, listen, how it works on these platforms is advertisers choose to or not to advertise on certain types of topics, whether they're controversial or has certain words in there, Transgender is one of those words. Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. There are a lot of different words that sexual assault. There's a lot of different words that people cannot say. Murder. This is why people come up with what has been known as algo speak, where we can't even have real conversations anymore because you have to be like a grape. SA, the this, that, and it's like it becomes very a disingenuous place to be able to have real conversations. So now that my lipstick has dried, let me blend this in. All right. I feel like I didn't catch it in time. All right. How is that? Does this look all right, or is it too pink? Tell me what your thoughts are on it. I think it's pretty, but I feel like I didn't catch it in enough time to blend out the bottom one. So nonetheless, listen. I'm here because I've been hearing a lot of different things about this whole transgender teacher issue. For those of you who don't know, because you're not online or not in the same algorithm that I'm in, there's a story that's going viral right now about a teacher in Oklahoma who was suspended because a conservative student cited the Bible inside of their essay, right? This is in a psychology class in Oklahoma at the University of Oklahoma. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia article. We're going to read the summary of that article. Then we are going to go to Fulnecky's paper. We're going to read the paper, and then we're going to go to the article that Fulnecky was supposed to be responding to, right? We're going to go to the teacher's matrix and see what the teacher we're going to see what the teacher says that somebody says the lipstick is pretty, but it's bothering me because I let it dry so that it didn't blend. So let me just fix this real quick because we're going to be doing the rest of the video and I want it to just be all right for the rest of the video because when I break this into shorts, the front of this video is not going to be in there. The front of the video is not going to be in there, so no one's going to know. And then, all right, so just give me just one quick second, and then I'm just going to revitalize the bottom so that I could blend it. And I'm actually going to use my brush blender and then just go from there because I don't want to chance it. I don't want to chance it. Hey, Perry, how are you doing? All right. All right, let me just blend out the top and then we should be able to go from there. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay, so someone is saying the excerpts I heard from that paper were not academic. It sounded more like a maniac or maniac Christian rant. Okay, well, you know what? Listen, I'm glad you said that right now so that you could get me back on topic since we had our little segue. We're going to read the whole thing because one of the things that's happening right now. So, for those of you who don't know me, right now I am currently enrolled full time in a university, an Ivy League university. So, I'm in higher education, and I know for a fact that there is like the way school happens right now, there's a matrix that the professor has to. So if this professor was suspended, the professor was suspended for a reason. There's a matrix that the teacher has to follow. And we're going to read the matrix so that we can know on what basis the teacher said they were going to give a grade. So I feel like I should have written notes for this video before I got started, but I have class today and I don't really I don't have the, oh, let me get my timer started. I don't have the time to create like a full in-depth. I didn't have time to do all of the research, et cetera, et cetera. So I found myself reading behind the scenes. So I said, rather than me read behind the scenes, let me make a video where we can read it together. This video is intended for the academic scholar who is also interested in hearing the true, real facts without spin. I'm going to give my opinion in this video. And you all know I am not a Christian and I am a feminist. I am in higher education and I am also confused about how to fully honor trans people as well as honor women and men, biological women and men. I want everyone to be honored. And I'm feeling confused with the way things are going right now in how to honor all people, especially the marginalized. I want marginalized people to be exalted, but in their exaltation, I'm not wanting women to, because what's ending up happening is the rights that are being squared right now are the rights that women have fought very hard for. And the protections that are here to protect, that have been put in place to protect women, are being eroded in the protection of people who are biologically male in sex. Now, they can say they're male in gender, that's fine, but they are male in sex and they are eroding the safe spaces of women. So I wanted to be very upfront with where it is that I am at, who it is that I am. I am not a Christian. I lean more liberal, progressive, right? If people were if I were to listen, I'm all about that democratic socialism right now. I am in Mamdanistan, which is now formerly known as New York. I am in Mamdanistan, and I'm liberal minded. However, I'm seeing that there's a problem that's going on with the liberals right now, and this is part of what got Kamala in trouble, because Kamala was not able to argue common sense, like forthrightly, about what's going on in the trans community, the greater population at large, etc. So nonetheless, so what we're going to do, and the person who is most fitted for this video is a person who wants to know all of the information without spin. I'm going to tell you what made me start reading this myself. I was listening to the Humanist Report, right? We're going to play a little bit of this right now, and then we're going to jump into what the facts are, okay? Oh, wow. That's a wild looking. Let me see if I can get, there we go, make this larger. All right.
A conservative student managed to get a transgender college professor fired by crying religious persecution under false pretenses, but nonetheless, it worked like a charm. So the Turning Point chapter of Oklahoma University put out a tweet claiming that a student was discriminated against because of her religion. Specifically, they say that a transgender teacher gave the student a failing grade because she quoted the Bible in an assignment. They claimed the following, quote, "For a psychology course at the University of Oklahoma, Samantha Fulnecky was asked to write a 650-word essay reacting to an article about how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender. In her essay, Fulnecky argued that traditional gender roles should not be considered stereotypes. She cited the Bible to support her stance that eliminating gender in society would be detrimental because that would put people farther from God's original plan for humans. She received 0 points out of 25 on the essay. Transgender professor Mel Curth said Ms. Fulnecky failed to use empirical evidence and called parts of her essay offensive. Quote, "To call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially a minoritized population," the instructor wrote in the online grading platform. They go on to accuse the professor of being unable to set aside her pro-trans bias to take grading seriously. Now, it is incredibly ironic for them to accuse the professor of not being able to put aside her bias, given how the student very clearly couldn't put aside her own bias, both religious bias and anti-trans bias, to write a simple, short 650-word essay.
All right. So this is when I stopped the video. Well, I stopped it a little before this. I wanted to address this right here, right? This reporter, this person says they're a reporter. This is part of what's going on in our society right now. We are getting news from people online and we do not know their credentials. I don't know if this man is a bona fide journalist. I don't know what he has gone through, what training he has, whether or not he's coming in it with just the facts, or whether or not he's speaking from a place of, listen, we all have biases. We all do. I have my bias. He has his bias. The student has her bias. The teacher has the teacher's bias, right? And I will say this. If the student is being asked to write an article, write an essay, right? From the student's perspective, right? The student is going to speak from the student's bias. Okay, right? Unless this student is being asked to write an academic peer-reviewed journal article that's different than a school essay, the student is going to have the student's bias. Where we get into trouble, right, is whether or not the teacher's bias has bled over into the grading process for this student. That's the issue right there. The teacher's going to have the teacher's bias, the student's going to have their bias, and when they come together in an academic setting, right, the student is actually allowed, the student is afforded the ability to write an essay from their point of view. If the essay is a point of view essay, right? We're going to take a look at all of this right now, because I feel like I'm being gaslit by both sides. I just want you to see, right? When we Google this young lady's name, let's just do a quick Google. But you see, the thing is, this is the problem that I was talking about in the beginning of this video, right? Okay, so part of the issue that I was talking about in the beginning of this video is that we're not living in reality. We're living in different places, spins. Look, right-wingers are up in arms over a college student getting an F on her paper. You want to know what his video was called? Let me see if I could get to his page from the Humanist Report so that you could see what his video was called, right? Let me see. Let me go to videos. All right, look. This is what his video is called. Too dumb to pass, play victim, right? Okay. This is how he titled his video. So when we go, so I am in a left-leaning news cycle because I'm Black, because I'm a woman, because I live in a certain area, because I've clicked on certain things before. They put me into a cycle that I can't effing break free from because I'm in a particular algorithm, so that now when I look up things for you, all you're going to see is the left-leaning spin. This is why, so I'm going to tell you something real quick, just as an anecdote. This is why you can tell what people search for, what they watch. Whenever somebody pulls up their browser, you can see where they lean. So like a few of my teachers, right? One of them pulled up YouTube, and all of the related videos were like cartoons, Go-Go Melon, Bluey, a bunch of stuff. What do we know about this teacher? we know that she has a child that is of a certain age because her related videos are all showing the stuff. So when you can see, I know about my professors when they pull open their YouTube to open up a video for the class, because for some reason slides don't play YouTube videos within them, and the teachers have to then go to YouTube to play the video from the slides. And one of my professors, you can see what he's searching and all this other stuff. You see like the weightlifting videos and all of this stuff on the sides, right? And remember, there was a conservative person that was complaining about all of these ads for homosexual parties, etc. And the people were like, "Dear, part of the reason that you're getting those ads is because, honey, you're clicking on that stuff." So, nonetheless, I am in a left-leaning, just University Oklahoma instructor on leave after failing students' gender essay. And then it just goes on, and there's a whole bunch of, let's see if we can find anything that is at least neutral. Um, okay, so here. So it's like I'm not able to get any other people's point of view. I don't know how to see the conservative point of view. VPN or private browser. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go. Let me open up a private browser. Like it's. I'll open up a private browser and then we'll look up Fulnecky. Fulnecky. Okay, for Oklahoma. All right. Look, it's the same thing. Same thing. It's the same thing I'm getting. Look, it's the same thing. This is what I'm saying. So you think that the private browser would take you out, but it didn't take me out. So nonetheless, we're just going to continue to move forward, right? Yeah, thank you. The algorithm knew. I opened up it knew already, getting the same results. Like you you're using a private browser on a computer that you have a regular browser on. This is how we get caught into these echo chambers, but we're going to move forward. Wikipedia talked about this because this is one of the sources that I was able. So there's a few different things that we're going to do in this video. Okay. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to read Wikipedia, and then we're also going to look at all of this stuff. And I feel like time is going so quickly because soon is going to be time for the dance break. Oh, okay. We still got 22 more minutes, so I'm happy about that. Okay, good. All right, so let's read this. In November 2025, In November 2025, a controversy arose surrounding University of Oklahoma psychology student Samantha Fulnecky's essay and her characterization of the failing grade as an example of religious discrimination. Fulnecky's lifespan development class was given an assignment to write a 650-word essay responding to a research paper entitled Relations Among Gender Typicality, Peer Relations, and Mental Health During Early Adolescence. The study is about the effect, if you can't see where we're at, we're right here. The study is about the effect of gender norms on the mental health of middle schoolers. The grader gave Fulnecky the grader gave Fulnecky a failing grade, saying she had failed to respond to the prompt or to cite any empirical evidence as described parts of the essay as offensive. Fulnecky's essay had referred to the Bible to call social acceptance of transgender people, quote unquote, demonic. Fulnecky subsequently filed a claim of religious discrimination based on her Christian faith, which was amplified by Turning Point USA's coverage, highlighted that the instructor who graded Fulnecky's essay was transgender, and it attacked the instructor's quote unquote mentally ill and lacking intellectual maturity. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that. Oh wow. On November 30th, the course instructor was placed on administrative leave, right? So now, remember, we went to this person right here, the humanist report, right? He said the teacher was fired. Was the teacher fired? Was she not fired? Why are you saying that she was fired? Or, excuse me, why are you saying that the teacher was fired if the teacher was placed on administrative leave? Why are you giving out information that's not being confirmed? And if it was confirmed, who is saying that that all right. Okay. Here's background from Wikipedia. Samantha Fulnecky is a junior at the University of Oklahoma majoring in psychology. Fulnecky's mother is a lawyer who has previously provided legal defense for those that took part in the January 6th United States Capitol attack. Her instructor, Mel Curth, is a graduate student and a trans woman teaching psychology at the university. The teacher's name is Mel Curth. So Curth had previously received an award from the psychology department for outstanding teaching. TPUSA is a right-winging nonprofit foundation by Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated, blah, 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 blah. Anti-transgender conservatives have been waging a years-long campaign to ban transgender people from working as teachers and to ban the teaching of LGBT-friendly material more broadly under the second Trump administration. These efforts were greatly expanded as part of the administration's wider campaign against transgender people. I feel like you all can't see everything that I'm reading. Let me make this a little smaller for you so that you can see. Okay, but then the words get smaller on the screen. Maybe if I did like this, it will word wrap. Let me see if I can get it to word wrap some more. Okay, there we go. Because I want to make the words, let me see if I do Control Plus. Okay, let me do Control Minus. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see the words now. Is that better? Okay. All right, this is the background. So anti-transgender conservatives have been waging years-long campaign, blah, 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 blah. Efforts expanded, blah, 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 blah. The country being fired, hold on. Greatly expanded as part of the administration's wider campaign against transgender people, with dozens of professors across the country being fired for discipline or fired or disciplined, and schools and universities being forced to adopt anti-trans policies or else lose federal funding. Wow. I didn't know that that was happening. That's interesting. Okay, so this is in citations 5, 6, and 7, which are below. So let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The incident. All right. In November 2025, Fulnecky was assigned an essay reflecting on an article published in the Journal of Social Development. The article details a study in which blah, 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 blah. Fulnecky's submission made its argument based solely on the Bible without quoting any specific scripture and without answering the assignment's questions. It instead argued that women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us in the woman. So rather than doing that, we'll just go and we'll read her article. The papers that she wrote. All right. This is the paper. Let me see if I can make this a little larger. Oh, I'm not able to make it word wrap for you all. So what's the best way to do this now that I can't get it to word wrap? We'll just read it on the screen. If you're having a hard time seeing, put it up. You can play YouTube videos on your TV. So maybe we can get it that way. Okay. So here. So this is Fulnecky's essay that we're about to read together. Okay? All right. This article was very thought provoking and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender and the role it plays in our society. The article discussed peers using teasing as a way to enforce gender norm. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. God made male and female and made us differently from each other on purpose and for a purpose. God is very intentional with what he makes, and I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered quote unquote stereotypes. Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in the image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently than men, and we should live our lives with that in mind. It is, hold on. It is frustrating to me when I read articles like this and discussion posts from my classmates of so many people trying to conform to the same mundane opinion so they do not step on people's toes. I think that it is cowardly and insincere, is a cowardly and insincere way to live. It is important to use the freedom of speech we have been given in this country, and I personally believe that eliminating gender in our society would be detrimental as it pulls us further from God's original plan for humans. It is perfectly normal for kids to follow gender quote unquote stereotypes because that is how God made us. The reason so many girls want to feel womanly and care for others is and care womanly and care for others in a motherly way is not because they feel pressure to fit into social norms. It is because God created and chose them to reflect his beauty and his compassion in that way. In Genesis, God says that it is not good for man to be alone, so he created a helper for man, which is woman. Many people assume the word helper in this context. Hold on. Okay. So people are calling her names. I just want you to remember that you're on my channel, right? That your comments are showing up in my video, right? Let me hear.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by guests and callers are those of the individual guest or caller and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Tonya TKO, the Tonya TKO Show and/or its affiliates. For more information, visit tonyatko.com.
All right. All right. Listen, I want you to remember that on this channel, I strive for us to attack the argument, not other people. Okay? If you feel that she's a moron, please provide context for her we're reading her argument right now. Rather than just calling her names, please attack her argument, create some thoughtful discussion about why you feel that she's off base. I'm reading her opinion right now in her essay. Let's continue going forward, right? Okay. Many people assume that the word helper in this context to be condescending and offensive to women. However, the original word in Hebrew, ezer kenego, and that directly translates to helper equal to. Additionally, God describes himself in the Bible using ezer kenego or helper, and he describes his Holy Spirit as our helper as well. This shows the importance God places on the role of the helper, women's roles. God does not view women as less significant than men. He created us with such intentionality and care, and he made women in his image of being a helper and in the image of his beauty. If leaning into that role means I am quote unquote following gender stereotypes, then I am happy to be following a stereotype that aligns with the gifts and abilities God gave me as a woman, right? Okay. I do not think men and women are pressured to be more masculine or feminine. I strongly disagree with the idea from the article and that, so hold on, you know what, let me do this. Let me just, I don't feel right about what just happened, right? I don't feel right about what happened in my comments just a moment ago. I want to say this. By what metric are you calling her a moron? By what metric are we saying who is right or wrong in this scenario? Part of the reason that I'm doing this video is because we are going to look at all of the information and then we are going to determine from looking at all of the information, because I'm telling you the information that you're getting out there on these specific videos and news sites is biased and it's not giving you the full scope. I'm taking the time to read all of this so that you can have the full scope before you go out there making an opinion based on other people's opinions. Please. This is very frustrating because it's like, let me calm my own self down. It's frustrating because it's like we are being controlled. And we are being led to believe certain things because people make their opinions and we believe their opinions. This is why I told you my basis in the beginning. I am neither Christian nor am I a believer or a blind follower of everything and anything that anybody who says about transgender says or believes. I am neither of those. What I am is I am a scholar. I am a university student on the master's level. And I want to know what is true. If you want to know what is true as well, this video is for you. Okay? This video is for you. Let's continue going forward. Okay. I do not think men and women are pressured to be more masculine or feminine. I strongly disagree with the idea from the article that encouraging acceptance. So she's talking about what was in the article. I didn't read the article, but we will read the article. This is what I'm saying. If you want to take your time, the thing is that we have been put in situations where we are expecting to get all of the information in 60 seconds or less. And it's impossible. We got people making cooking videos where they throw an egg down on the counter and all of a sudden the egg is beat. Listen. It's just, come on. Put this video on in the background while you're driving, taking the bus, washing up the kids for school, whatever it is that you're doing, just put the video on in the background and just listen to what is there, okay? All right. I strongly disagree with the idea from the article that encouraging acceptance of diverse gender expressions could improve students' confidence. Society pushing the lie that there are multiple genders and everyone should be whatever they want to be is demonic and severely harms American youth. I do not want kids to be teased or bullied in school. However, pushing the lie that everyone has their own truth and everyone can do whatever they want and be whoever they want is not biblical whatsoever. The Bible says that our lives are not our own, but that our lives and bodies belong to the Lord for his glory. I live my life based on this truth and firmly believe that there would be less gender issues and insecurities in children if they were raised knowing that they do not belong to themselves, but they belong to the Lord. Overall, this is the ending of her essay. Overall, reading articles such as this one encouraging me to one day raise my children knowing that they have a heavenly I need to start that sentence again. Overall, reading articles such as this one me encourage me to one day raise my children knowing that they have a heavenly Father who loves them and cherishes them deeply, and that having their identity firmly rooted in who he is will give them the satisfaction and acceptance that the world can never provide them. My prayer for the world, and specifically for American society and youth, is that they would not believe the lies being spread from Satan that makes them believe they are better off as another gender than what God made them. I pray that they feel God's love and acceptance as who he originally created them to be. We have finally finished this, right? Okay, someone is saying, so far, I haven't heard one academic or empirical based point by the student. Okay, all right. That is a fair sentence. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the teacher's matrix. So I want you all to know. So remember when Charlie Kirk was like, oh, these affirmative action hires, they couldn't make it in school and they took a white person's slot and they're less qualified, etc. Let me just explain to you as a student of higher learning. This is not the college of our parents' day. This is the college of modern day. And in modern day, listen, in modern day, teachers have a matrix to follow. The teacher creates the matrix for the student, and if the student follows the criteria, so the teacher gives a matrix for grading. We're going to read that matrix because when Charlie Kirk says that underqualified people are going into university, let's say that that's a truth because we know that that's a goddamn lie because a school is going to choose the best candidates based on their own metric, right? And we most of the times don't know what the metric is. They give certain points for certain things, whether you volunteered, whether you this, whether you that, what your essay was, what your SAT was, etc. Right? Right? However, once you're in that school, each class has a grading metrics. You could get in on good looks or whatever, but these teachers have a metric that they are grading you against. And as long as you meet that metric, you will be able to get that grade. If you do not meet that metric, then you will not get the grade. What we're going to do is we're going to read the assignment and we're going to read the metric. This was a 25-point assignment, and this is how people can sue their teachers if their teacher goes outside of the metric that the teacher has stated and the student followed. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the teacher's matrix. Right here, stay with me. If you're with me, put your hand up, put up a number 1, right? Put up a number 1 if you're with me. If you want to send a Cash App through, it's $Tonya TKO. I'll read it on the air, right? And I will, so it's you see this QR code, that QR code will take you to $Tonya TKO. You can send a Cash App through. I'll read it at the next break. And then you'll be able to get your opinions, or if you could send as little as $1 and I'll read it on the air and then we'll go from there. Let's look at the teacher's matrix. All right. Okay, let's see if we can make this just a little larger and here. Too large now because it's here. Okay. So here. So this is lesson 3.3 reaction paper, right? This was given on November 9th, and it's a 25-point Hold on. Let me scroll this. Scroll. I'm trying to click on this. Scroll this down so that you can see. Okay, so that you can see what I see. And it says here, this assignment was locked on November 9th. Okay. And the teacher says, you must write a 650 word body of text, double-spaced reaction paper demonstrating that you read the assigned article and include a thoughtful, it's too small for me to read. I'm gonna just scroll through. Let me just make this a little larger so that I can, and then I'm gonna scroll. Hold on, let me see if I can get this. Okay, that's pretty much, if I move myself, there we go. All right, it is time for us to get up and dance. Okay, so the vote is coming in. You all are with me. Some people are not, some people are. Thank you, I appreciate you being here. It is time for us to get up and dance. All right, let's see.
My mama always told me I'm allergic to the fake. That's why I can look you in your eyes and tell you ain't. I'm from the South, you know what I'm talking about. But she could pop it and drop it right in your bank account. I be like, what you heard, your body's out of control.
Hey, listen. I understand that some of the people here are going to come in because they're Christian. You're about to hear some secular music right now and see some secular dancing. So you might want to cover your eyes. Okay? Because we about to get it in. And part of the reason that we dance on my show is to encourage healthy movement. So I want you to get up out of your seat. If my music is not working for you, put on your own music behind the scenes and just get up and just move. Just move your body. This song is 1 minute and 49 seconds. So for 2 minutes, we're just going to get up and we're going to move. Is that all right with you? All right. So listen.
St. Jules on my chest. Got my foot on your neck. Look, I don't play by me.
Let's get back to the beginning.
My mama always told me I'm allergic to the fake. That's why I can look you in your eyes and tell you ain't. I'm from the South, you know what I'm talking about. But she could pop it and drop it right in your bank account. I be like, what you heard, your body's out of control. Wrapped in African gold, St. Jules on my chest. Got my foot on your neck. Look, I don't play by mine. What you say by mine? You know I'm big stepping, walking through the door. When I'm getting money, yeah, I'ma get some more. And they be like, who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back. Baby, let me step back. And he ain't paying rent, he ain't doing shit. I drop it to the floor and let him know that you a real bad bitch. Pick it up, look at the way that you talking. I'ma talk back, you need to dumb never what you heard. That body's out of control. Rap, diamonds and gold. And she gon' rain champagne like she just won a game. Look, baby, say about mine. What the fuck you say about mine? You know I'm big stepping, walking through the door. When I'm getting money, yeah, I'ma get some more. And they be like, who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back. Look at the way that talking, I'ma talk back and now pick it up. Look at the way that talking, I'ma talk back and I'ma walk it. You know I'm big stepping, walking through the door. When I'm getting money, yeah, I'ma get some more. And they be like, who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Who that? Take a picture, baby, let me step back.
Oh my goodness. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh my goodness. That was good. That was so good. If you got up and you danced, put up a number 2. Man, that was good. That was so good. All right. Somebody said the music is busting. Whew. Man. You know what? I feel so tired. This is why we have to continue moving. build up our stamina, build up our strength, our lung capacity, our strength, all of that. So that was good. That was good. All right. Whew. So let's read the apple that has come in. Oh, here. Whew. Oh. Mm. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. All right, so Jay Ebony says, I tagged you in the color video, Jason K. Pargin. I don't know what that is, but I'll check for it. Thank you. I'll look for my tag for the tags. All right, let's see if you want to send a Cash App through, the QR code is on the screen. If you do $Tonya TKO, also in the description, there's a direct link to it. All right. Whew. Okay, so let's get back. Let's start the timer again. So just know in 35 more minutes we're gonna get up and we're gonna dance again. All right. All right. So we were reading the paper's matrix. Okay. So here. All right. You must write a 650 word body and text double-space reaction paper. So, listen, this is not an evidence-based paper. This is a reaction paper. So there's different types of papers. A reaction paper is your personal reaction and opinion. That's what a reaction paper is. If I'm wrong on that, somebody Google in university or in college, what is a reaction paper versus any other type of paper or versus academic paper. I don't know. Let's continue going forward. Reaction paper demonstrating that you read the assigned article, right? Include thoughtful reaction to the material presented in the article. So thoughtful reaction. Points will be deducted when the papers are deficient in any of these areas. I will deduct 10 points if your paper is between 620 and 649 words. And I will not give credits for papers under 620 words. Papers not turned in by the deadline will not receive credit. Okay, let's take a look and see how many words this paper is. Because if she gave this person a 0, let's copy this. Let me open up Microsoft Word. You know what? Let me see if I could do a word counter. Let's see. Word counter. All right, let's count words right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want you to see that her paper is 742 words. 742 words. So this is what I'm saying. Let's look at the evidence. So 742 words. Let's go back. Okay. All right. 742 words. So please remember that your reaction paper should not be a summary, but rather a thoughtful discussion of some aspect of the article. Possible approaches to reaction papers include 1, can you all see this, or is it bad for you all? Can you see this? Let me see. Here. Can you? Okay, I'll just do it like this because, all right. Okay. Here. 1, a discussion of why you feel the topic is important and worthy of study or not. So you see, this is a paper about an opinion. This is a paper about how a person feels. The reaction paper is not a summary of the original paper. The reaction paper is how the student feels. Did the student write about how she feels? So here, 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 here. Okay. These are possible approaches. So 2, an application of the study or results to your own experiences, right? 3, an application of the study or results to observations about others' behaviors, right? 4, linking the objectives or findings from the assigned article to other domains of development or other findings that we've read about or discussed in class. 5, a suggestion for further studies or experiments that might help researchers better understand the topic being studied. 6, alternate interpretations of the reader's findings. Oh, look, number 6, alternate interpretations of the reader's findings. Okay. 7, a discussion of how development in this domain might proceed differently at other developmental stages. 8, your own thoughts about how development proceeds in the domain being researched in this article. Okay, so those are possible approaches. The student decided to take a different approach and go biblical, give her own point of view, etc. So listen, there are other possibilities as well. The best reaction paper illustrates that students have read the assigned material and engaged in critical thinking about some aspect of the article. Formatting requirements: 12-point Times Roman or Calibri font, 1-inch margins on all sides. Grading: reaction papers are graded on a 25-point scale and are evaluated based on the following, right? I feel like we've gone down too low here. Based on the following. Number 1, does the paper show a clear tie-in to the assigned article? 10 points. 2, does the paper present a thoughtful reaction or response to the article rather than a summary? 10. This is where the teacher fucked up. This is where the teacher messed up right here. Does the paper present a thoughtful reaction or response to the article rather than a summary? The student gave her thoughts, her thoughtful thoughts. She did not give a summary. Let's read the last one. Is the paper clearly written? 5 points. If this teacher gave the student 0 points, the teacher gave 0 points based on bias. This student should have at least had 5 points for the paper being written clearly, right? 5 points. So does the paper present a thoughtful reaction or response? I thought her response was thoughtful. She tied it into her own religious beliefs and her Bible, right? I believe she should have gotten 10 points for that. Now, the number 1, does the paper show a clear tie-in to the assigned article? I haven't read the article, so I don't know whether or not the article talked about bullying, etc., and gender, whatever. So, in my opinion, I believe the student should have gotten at least 15 points based on what it is that we know so far. So, so this is the matrix. I want you to see. This is the matrix. 10, 10, 5, 25. This is what I'm saying. And things like this keep teachers honest. It keeps students understanding what's expected of them. This teacher did not say that the student had to cite anything. The teacher did not say that the student had to cite any sources. So right now I'm working on, so for example, last year I was in a forensic psychology class. And for our final paper, we had to write, the class was assigned to write 25, something like that, 25 pages, and there needed to be at least 20 peer-reviewed sources cited. 20. And they couldn't be just any type. They had to be peer-reviewed. So what a peer-reviewed paper is a paper that other people have fact-checked, so that you know that the information in a peer-reviewed paper was reviewed by other academians who fact-checked. So a peer-reviewed paper is different than other papers. In my forensic psychology class, there needed to be 20 peer-reviewed on your topic. So the teacher spent like 3 different classes asking people, what topic are you going to be discussing? And working out with the student whether or not there were going to be 20 peer-reviewed articles on that topic. Because some people wanted to talk about, trafficking in the Middle East and all this other stuff, but they have to be peer-reviewed. They have to be at least 20 sources cited, peer-reviewed sources. Okay. How many sources did the teacher say needed to be cited? The teacher didn't say there had to be any citations, right? The teacher didn't say that any of those had to be cited. So, and then the teacher gave the matrix. This is the matrix. Did the student follow these 3? And so this right here, I wanted to show you all this, right? So part of the issue that's happening right now is this is the article. The article is behind a paywall. You have to pay $12 for 48 hours online access, $20 for online access only, or $50 for the PDF. But you all know that I'm a college student, I'm a university student on the master's level, and you all have the benefit of having me as your content creator because I'm at an Ivy League school, and my Ivy League school sponsors these articles for us to be able to read, because I guess the tuition is so damn high that a lot of these articles are sponsored for us to be able to have access to. So what I'm going to do is I bypass the paywall for you all. So throw up a number 3, whoop, whoop, for me. Let me see some applause for me. Bypassing this paywall for you all, and I'm going to read this for you all on the broadcast. However, I do encourage that if you want access to this yourself, that you support the writers. This can be found on Wiley Online Library, and you can see the DOI number right there and the code. Just copy it from the screen, go to the DOI, and then get the article yourself if you're interested in it, okay? All right. So this is the article. This is going to be long. So like I said, listen to this in the background as you are doing whatever it is that you need to do. Thank you for the 3. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Perry. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's jump into this. All right. Relations among gender typicality, peer relations, and mental health during early adolescence. This was written by Jennifer A. Jewell and Christia Spear Brown from the University of Kentucky. Okay, this is the abstract. So the abstract is going to break down what the research was, what it was done, and then they're going to talk about how it was done so that other people can replicate it in the future and pick up where they left off. When it comes to academics, nobody can do everything. So they do their part, tell you what they did, and then ask you to continue forward in your own way. So here, the current study examines whether being high in gender typicality is associated with popularity, whether being low in gender typicality is associated with rejection / teasing and other teasing due to low gender typicality mediates the association with negative mental health. I'm going to read that again because I feel like I'm not understanding what it's saying. All right, so let's do it again. All right. And and you see where we are right now with having AI break everything down for us, we don't get the chance to really learn because we have to go through the mental processes to understand. So I'm going to read this again and I'm going to break down my understanding of what it's saying. The current study examines whether being high in gender typicality is associated with popularity. So, what they're saying is if boys are presented as masculine or what is typical for boy genders, right? Are they more popular? And whether or not you exhibit behaviors that are not as typically considered boy or girl behavior, are you less popular and are you rejected or teased? So it says gender typicality is associated with rejection slash teasing, and whether teasing due to low gender typicality mediates the association with negative mental health. Okay, so what I'm understanding is that they're saying, do people who don't meet gender norms, do adolescents, early adolescents who don't meet gender norms, do they have lower self-esteem? Are they teased? Are the people who are more popular the ones who are gender typical, right? Middle school children, 34 boys and 50 girls, described hypothetical, popular, and rejected teased pairs and completed self-report measures about their own gender typicality. Experiences with gender-based teasing, depressive symptoms, anxiety, self-esteem, and body image. Participants also completed measures about their peers' gender typicality, popularity, and likability. So I'm in a cognitive behavioral class right now, and we're actually talking about this subject right now. What makes children more popular? What type of behaviors make children less popular? We're talking about that so this is very interesting that this comes up right now. I don't know if this is just the part of the semester where people are talking about this stuff, but nonetheless, participants also completed measures about their peers' likability. Results indicated that popular youth were described as more gender typical than rejected, teased youth. Further, being typical for one's gender significantly predicted being rated as popular by peers. So you understand what it's saying, right? So we have opinions about what different genders do, how they behave. And the students, the young children who are in line with our own ideas are more popular, and the students who are out of alignment with those ideas are less popular. Okay. And let's see. Further, being typical for one's gender significantly predicted being rated as popular by peers, and this relationship was moderated by gender. Finally, low gender typicality predicted more negative mental health outcomes for boys. So this is saying that boys who did not fit the regular gender stereotype had negative mental health outcomes. These relationships were at times mediated by experiences with gender based teasing, suggesting that negative mental health outcomes may be a result of the social repercussions of being low in gender typicality rather than a direct result of low typicality. I don't understand what that means. Low typicality to what? I guess, I don't know. I don't know what the typicality is. So it says keywords, gender, popularity, and teasing. So this is a so it has like research stuff in the middle. So these are the charts of how the research was done. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the introduction and then we're going to jump to the conclusion because all of their research is supported in the middle and we don't need to read the actual methodologies of their research. All we need to do is just find out what they're trying to prove and what their conclusion was, right? So here's the introduction right here. There's the abstract. Here's the introduction. Recent media coverage of teen suicides led to widespread to a widespread public discourse about the impact of teasing on adolescents, particularly when that teasing was related to teens, quote unquote, not fitting in as a typical boy or typical girl. In addition, media coverage has highlighted the ways that peers harass and ostracize boys and girls who are deemed atypical for their gender. So atypical means not typical. So if you think of, we're talking about, so if we think about our ideas about boys and girls when we're in middle school, so we probably think boys play sports and girls play jump rope, or boys are good at football and girls like cheer. So like, let's say there's a boy who's doing cheer or a girl who's trying to play football, right? They're saying that these students are atypical for their gender and that they experience teasing and as a result have lower self-esteem. Okay, so that's the premise, I suppose. Okay, in addition, media coverage has highlighted the way that peers harass and ostracize boys and girls who are deemed atypical for their gender, and they cite the study right here, right? You see it on the screen. Little empirical research, however, has examined how being atypical for one's gender is related to peer harassment. That's interesting. I thought that would have been researched by now, especially since we've had quote unquote sissy boys and tomboys since the beginning of time. Thus, the goal of, not the beginning of time, but the beginning for many of our childhood. We had tomboys and we had little quote unquote sissy boys. These are not my words. These were words of kids at the times, right? Thus, the goal of the current research is to examine how peer relations, both positive peer relationships, being popular or liked, and negative peer relationships, being teased or harassed, are associated with being either gender typical or gender atypical, right? So if this is what the paper is about, the student did not answer anything about gender typicality or any of that. The student didn't answer any of that. But we're going to read a little bit more and we're going to see, because they're talking about bullying and harassing. So let's see. Gender stereotypes regarding what it means to be a quote unquote typical boy or quote unquote typical girl permeates the American society. By the age of 6, children not only know and endorse gender stereotypes such that boys are loud and strong and girls are weak and quiet, but they also view gender atypical behavior negatively and tend to avoid atypical types of play. You know, one thing that we did not do, we did not see whether or not AI wrote something like this. So we're going to put this into an AI thing, and we're going to see whether or not AI wrote this. Okay, can you tell me if this was, see, top of the list, before I even finish. Oh, it fell down, but it said if this was written by AI. That's at top of the list. Okay, AI, look, they have AI detectors. Grammarly has one, so I've heard of Grammarly before. So I'm going to click on Grammarly, and I'm going to paste her thing in there, and we're going to scan for AI. Okay, so Grammarly gave this a 0% score of being no AI text patterns found. And let's see. I can also run this through Google Gemini and see whether or not Google Gemini here. Here. Please let me know if AI wrote this and tell me why. Okay, so I just put this into Gemini. I don't use ChatGPT much anymore because ChatGPT, they cut you off after writing 3 things. All right, so here. So it says here, reasons for unlikely AI authorship. Strong, specific, personalized religious argument. And it goes on and on. You can put this into your own ChatGPT or Gemini and you can see for yourself. Okay, all right. So let's get back to our article. All right. I feel like I lost my place. Such that boys are loud and strong and girls are weak and quiet. But they also view gender atypical behavior negatively and tend to avoid atypical types of play, e.g., boys avoid playing house, playing with dolls, and experimenting with cosmetics. Oh, interesting. Okay. Despite, oh, you all can see that last thing up there. Okay. So this is where I just finished reading up here, and then now we're here. Despite the prevalence of gender stereotypes, existing research indicates that many children feel that they do not fit the typical image of a boy or a girl. About 1/4 of boys and 1/3 of girls exhibit 10 or more behaviors that are considered atypical for their gender. In addition, gender identity is multidimensional, and a child can feel gender typical in some respects, but gender atypical in others. As a result, many children feel gender atypical at times, despite such wide-ranging knowledge of what is gender typical. Are you all with me? Well, someone says it didn't sound like AI at all. It didn't sound like AI to me either, but I want to cover all of our bases. You know what I mean? Because if the student got a 0, I want to find out why the student got a 0 and then go from there, right? So I was thinking maybe she got a 0 because it was AI generated or the teacher found that it was AI generated, but I just wanted to cross that off the list. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Throughout this article, we will discuss gender typical and gender atypical as two related yet slightly distinct constructs. Although a child who is low in gender typicality is also likely to be considered atypical, it is possible to have many gender typical traits as well as many gender atypical traits. Indeed, if you all are understanding what it is that I'm saying, because I know that we're all at different spaces, sometimes we don't understand. Let me know if you need me to summarize, because I feel like their summary is pretty explanatory. If you need me to summarize, put up a 4. Like if you need me to break down what it's saying, put up a 4 if you need me to do that. If you don't need me to do that, put up a 0, just so I know whether or not I need to stop and kind of give the summation. Okay? I'm going to continue reading and then I'm going to look for your vote. So please vote now as soon as you hear me saying this. All right. So someone is saying, she said that she doesn't really believe that we should stop bullying kids into being what they were born as. The article spoke about bullying. Maybe that's her way of tying it in. Yeah, but you know, did she really read the article? Is the article about bullying, or is the article about bullying because of atypicality, right? So someone is saying, I would have given her 0 2. The paper is so poorly written. The teacher didn't ask for the paper to be written in a certain way. It's a, and then also, what do you consider to be poorly written? Let's understand that, because there were some grammar issues in there, but the teacher didn't specify that the paper had to be, you know, it didn't say that the paper had to be well written. Okay, so some people need me to break it down. Okay, thank you for being honest about that. That's cool. Some people don't. So that's cool. What I'll do is I'll let's read a little bit more, see if they break it down. So basically what this paper is talking about, right? What this research paper is talking about is basically saying that children who are in middle school have an idea about how boys should behave. Boys are strong and loud and aggressive, and girls are soft and weak and etc., right? And the boys who do things like experimenting or playing with dolls or doing the types of play that girls do, or girls, it didn't say anything about the girls to boys, so I'm going to keep reading and see, but let's continue forward. Someone says her thoughts are not coherent or spelled out. All she had to do was give her opinion. It's an opinion piece, and she gave her opinion. Her opinion is God made people this way, and we like to be this way, and that bullying, she thinks that bullying is a good way to get children to not act gender atypical. All right, let's continue going forward. We will discuss gender typicality and gender atypicality as two related yet slightly distinct constructs. Although a child who is low in gender typicality, so when you hear the word low in gender typicality, so just think of typicality as typical. So gender typical, gender atypical. When you hear atypical, just think of opposite. So opposite to their gender, okay? Or not typical. So not opposite, but just not typical. So atypical is not typical. Okay, just to be more correct. Okay. It is possible to have many gender typical traits as well as many gender atypical traits. Indeed, this fits the concept of androgyny. Most research on gender typicality, however, examines gender typicality on a continuum, with individuals low in typicality being synonymously considered atypical. So basically what this is saying is that past research has said that people who behave in gender typical ways, that it's a constant and a continuum, and that anybody who behaves differently to that is atypical. But this paper is saying that people can score high. So let's say a girl likes to be soft and likes to play with dolls, but she also likes to run fast and she likes math. So these may be things that are considered gender atypical in some respects, but then she also has gender typical behaviors in other respects, if you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. So okay, current research uses both a two-dimensional approach and a continuum approach to examine the concept of gender typicality as it relates to positive and negative relations in early adolescence. Specifically, the current study will examine, 1, whether typical characteristics are associated with being popular, 2, whether atypical characteristics are associated with being rejected/teasing, 3, whether the degree of typicality is associated with the degree of popularity, and 4, whether teasing due to gender atypicality explains the link between low levels of typicality and more negative mental health. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot right there. So basically, it's just talking about number 1, are boys who act like boys and girls who act like girls, are they popular? 2, whether boys who don't act like boys and girls who don't act like girls are unpopular, and then, or whether or not they get rejected in teasing. 3, whether or not boys and girls who don't act like boys and girls, or boys who don't act like boys and girls who don't act like girls, get rejected, teased. 3 is whether the degree of typicality. So the more boyish boys act and the more girly girls act, does that determine the degree to which they get bullied? So if you're more boy-like, so like let's say there's a spectrum, and let's say you're a boy who's a nerd, and maybe you like to, do things that are not typical that boys do. How severe is the bullying on the scale of how from boyish to girly you act, right? And please let me know if my descriptions are not enough, right? If they're not enough, let me know. So if I explain something you still don't understand, put up a 5, okay? So that way I'll know whether or not we're all on the same page. Okay, so I just explained that. So let's continue going forward. Number 4 is whether teasing for boys not being very boyish and girls not being very girly, whether or not that leads to low self-esteem. Okay? So someone is saying writing rubrics are standard, knit based off opinions. Anyone who went to school understands this. Writing rubrics are standard. I don't know what you're talking about. What writing rubric are you talking about? The teachers have rubrics. They are rubrics within Canvas, but what are you talking about? In a reflection paper, what are the standards for writing? If it's a reflection paper, are they grading the grammar? The teacher did not state in the teacher's rubric that the teacher was grading on grammar. The teacher didn't state that. The teacher said that they were going to grade on the 3 or 4 things that we discussed earlier in the video. So I'm not sure whether or not you are with us right now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm only going by your own grammar. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because it's like, we talking about other people's grammar and we have grammatical errors in what we're typing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Let's continue going forward. Okay. Okay. So, mental health. The next section describes research linking gender typicality to positive peer relations, such as being more popular and liked, followed by a description of research linking. Wow, that 35 minutes went fast. It's time for us to get up and dance again. Oh, okay. With the negative peer relations, such as being, and I need to keep an eye on the time because I have class today, so I'm not going to be able to be here all day. So people are saying, yes, there are standards for different forms and types of papers, as in the way you write an opinion paper versus a research paper. Listen. Okay, so people are coming up with their different opinions on whether, so from what it is that I'm seeing so far, the student really didn't talk about gender typicality. The student just really talked about gender and how God made gender. So the teacher said that the teacher would take off. This is the rubric right here, right? This is the matrix for how the grading would go, right? Just to review with some of us who came in a little later. 10 points if there, this is where we're at. 10 points if clear tie to the article. Is there a clear link back to the assigned article? Can the reader assess whether or not the student has read the assigned article? 10 points. I can't tell from what the student wrote that the student read the article. I couldn't tell that because the student was talking about bullying, and this paper seems to talk about gender atypicality. And the student was giving the student's opinion on gender and God and stuff. So 10 points for that. I'm in agreement with that. But reaction to content. Does the paper provide a reaction, discussion of some aspect of the article rather than a summary? Does the article talk about bullying? Yes. Did the student respond to some aspect of the article? And the answer is yes. So the student should have gotten 10 points for that. The student did not give a summary. The student gave her opinion about some aspect. And the one aspect she talked about was bullying. So, clarity of writing. Are the main ideas and thoughts organized into a coherent discussion? Is the writing clear enough? Not all the way clear enough to follow without multiple readings. The student should have gotten 5 points for that. The student should have gotten 5 points for that, in my opinion. So Lovely is saying the paper talked about kids. The paper talked about kids being treated different based on atypical behavior. She mentioned that she should not get a 0. And that's what I meant. When you're writing a paper, they should always relate to the given topic. That's a basic writing standard. Okay. So, listen, I can agree that it doesn't seem like the student that the student had a clear tie back to the article, right? This is the student's opinion. The student feels so in my class, in my cognitive development class right now, we're talking about early childhood development right now, and we're talking about how children develop and what leads to children being popular and children being unpopular, unliked. And I can go back to my notes, but basically from what it is that I remember from class, the children who are nice, and this is in middle school. Once we get into high school, the kids that are popular, there's a different standard for what makes kids popular. But typically in elementary school, children traverse from kindergarten through elementary school or first grade through elementary school together, so they know one another. Once kids go off into like junior high school and they go into a new school, there are different rules for what makes kids popular. And according to the psychologist that is teaching my class, and the research articles that we are citing, like Piaget and I forget some of the other names, but Piaget sticks out because it reminds me of the name of an old car. But nonetheless, the students in early education that are popular are the students who are nice, who are helpful, who are kind. The students who are not popular are the students who are aggressive, who don't read the moment and they act outside of that. Students who are disruptive. These are the students that are not popular in early childhood education or early childhood educational settings, right? All right. Did the student clearly demonstrate that she read the paper, or did she just read the abstract? To me, it sounds like she really just kind of thought she had an idea about what the paper was about and just wrote about gender stuff, but that is some aspect. According to the rubric, in the rubric number 2, does the paper provide a reaction/reflection? This is a reaction reflection paper. So this is an opinion paper. This is not a research paper. She does not need to cite any sources. There were no sources stated in the rubric that she needed to cite anything. This is her opinion. That is all she needed, her opinion. This student, in my opinion, should have gotten at least 15 points, in my opinion, right? In my opinion. So let's get our music together and let us do our next dance break. If you're ready, I am ready, right? We're just gonna do something easy like bounce music because that's the easiest to dance to and get our heart rate up. Listen. Oh my goodness, that was good. That was good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was good. So someone is saying opinions don't mean you just get to write about anything as long as you mention the buzzwords. She didn't even read the article. She did not have a true, authentic reflection reaction even to write about. And the paper was offensive. You don't just get to write that behavior is satanic without citing your sources. Yes, she does. She gets to have an offensive opinion. She gets to say that she thinks something is satanic based on her opinion and her reflection. She cited the Bible, and she didn't have to cite the Bible. She didn't have to cite anything. All she had to do was talk about her opinion. You see, part of the issue is that feelings are not facts. And your feelings about whether or not she was offensive is not a fact to the rubric that the teacher created. The teacher created a standard in that class for what that paper needed to be, and the student met, in my opinion, 2 out of 3 of the standards. In my opinion, 2 out of the 3. She should have at least gotten 15 points, in my opinion. Just because you're offended by, so you're only going to give out grades for opinions that you believe or opinions that you think are satisfying to your soul? No, that's not how that works. And this is why the teacher is on administrative leave right now. This is why, because the teacher let the teacher's feelings get in the way of the student being able to receive the minimum of grade that the student should have been able to receive, which was 15 points. The student exceeded the word count. The student met the criteria and qualifications that the teacher set. This is not about the teacher. Look, the teacher was offended, and that's all right. The teacher has a right to be offended. This is if in an academic situation, in an academic setting, we need to encourage discourse with people that we agree with and we don't agree with. We can't just say, I don't agree with you, so therefore you deserve 0 because I have a different opinion. She said that she felt it was demonic, satanic, all this, a Satan, something, another, et cetera, et cetera. That's her opinion. And she's entitled to have an opinion, whatever opinion she believes. She says that the Bible gave her. And then we also have to remember that in Oklahoma, the Bibles are in the damn schools in Oklahoma. So in Oklahoma, we already know that we're coming from a basis where there's a state, and then let me show you all this, right? Let me show you all this. Just take a look at this right here. This is U.S. News and World Reports. They have ranking for states in terms of education in pre-K to 12, as well as higher education. So New Jersey, for pre-K to 12, ranks number 1, right? And all the way down at the bottom of the list, right? So we're going to go through all of the states. All the way down at the bottom of the list, at number 48 is Oklahoma. Here, Oklahoma is number 48, but that's for pre-K to 12. And I've heard other bloggers talking about Oklahoma is number 50th in states, number 50th in education. They're near 50th. They're the 48th. That's in pre-K through 12. So there's also a ranking. This young lady is in higher education. You want to know who's number 1 in higher education? Florida. Florida, of all places, is number one. Florida. Higher education. So, you know, they have Florida A&M out there. They have, oh, you know what? They have the University of Tampa, which is a prestigious school. They also have, apparently, they have some top universities in Florida. So let's see. So number one in higher education, let's see where Oklahoma is in higher education, because you're only telling part of the story. So Oklahoma is number 31 in higher education, right? Let's see where you can go to US News and World Report as well, and you can look this up. As you see, so let's see. So California, which is a buzz, let's see. California is number 38 in K through 12. They're number 38, but number 5 in higher education. You know, we have UCLA, we have Pepperdine, we have Polytechnic University. We have, what are some other prestigious universities in, give me the prestigious universities that you know about in Florida, that you know about in California. All I know is that we have the UC school, the University of School, like UC Berkeley, UCLA. We have the University of California school system is apparently very prestigious. Okay, so let's see. I want to see what New York is. And this is what I'm saying, please so Alaska is number 50 in 50 in Alaska's number 49 in New Mexico's number 50, but in higher education Alaska's number 22 and New Mexico is number 20. I want to see who's number 50 in higher education. Number 49 is Louisiana. Louisiana is not doing well in higher education. And they're number 37 in K to pre, that they're not doing well. Let's see, I want to see who number 50 is. Who's the lowest? Pennsylvania. Look at that. Pennsylvania is number 50 in higher education, but they're number 19 in K through pre-K to 12. UC Davis, so the University of California school system, California Institute of Technology. That's what I was trying to say. I said Polytechnic, but I meant California Institute of Technology. Okay, so that's number 50. Let's see where New York is. New York is number 8 in K through 12, but we're only number 32 in higher education. That's not good. Number 32. Listen. Okay, let's see. Wyoming. Wyoming is doing the damn thing. Wyoming is number 2 in higher education. Let me click on this because I'm like, what? Okay, so this is the higher education list right here. So higher education, it says the higher education subcategory informs the state, the best state for education rankings, as well as the overall best state rankings. It comprises metrics reflecting, okay, so here. So Florida is number 1. Oh, number 1 in 2-year graduation rate. Oh, look at this. So they're telling you the criteria. They're number 1 in 4-year college graduation. So they're only talking about graduation rate. They're not even talking about the quality of the education. They're talking about graduation rate. That doesn't tell us anything. So Wyoming, let's see. Wyoming, Washington. Number 3 in higher education. Number 10 in best states overall. Number 9 in education, Washington. Colorado, California is number 5. South Dakota, Utah, Nevada, North Carolina, Wisconsin. It goes on and on. Go look it up yourself. Like I said, I have limited time. Let me put my timer back on. Let me check the apples. No apples have come in since the last time we checked. So we're going to move on to the... All right. Okay. So you all are saying now the professor should have been clearer with the grading rubric. Only 5 points for topic. The topic was about typicality and bullying, not just bullying. Also 5 points for coherence. So if I were the professor, it would have been 10 points. It okay. I don't know if they're giving if they're giving partial points. So, but 0 points. The student shouldn't have gotten 0 points. That sounded personal to me. And when you start bringing your own personal biases into the grading system and affecting the student's education because of your personal biases, this is problematic. Problematic. All right, let's continue forward. Okay, the next section describes the research linking gender typicality to positive peer relations, such as being popular and liked, followed by a description of research linking gender atypicality with negative peer relations, such as being rejected and teased, and concludes with research linking gender typicality to positive mental health outcomes and the potential role of teasing as a mediator of this relationship. So one of the things that I was saying is that in my cognitive behavioral science class, my cognitive development class, the professor talks about the intent of it talks about the different types of bullying that girls do, or the different types of aggression that girls have versus boys, right? And I didn't get a chance to ask the professor whether or not this was um, biological or whether or not it's societal. I meant to ask the teacher that, but things were moving pretty fast in the class. So girls, according to my professor, are more relational, and that the types of bullying that they participate in uh, is they bully people and exclude them from relationships. They tell lies or besmirch them or this types of stuff. So they assassinate people's character with words. And the purpose of early childhood bullying is to get people to act a certain way. That's why early childhood bullies bully to get children to behave in societal norms. So there's a goal and a purpose for bullying, and the bullying is meant to achieve a goal, and the goal is to get the children to act in line with the social norms created by, or the cultural norms in a society, or in a situation created by and governed by and judged by the kids. So whatever is the norm. So like let's say your child so like let's say you're a parent and you're strict, and your child does not have access to a mobile phone, but everybody else in the class has access to a mobile phone. Your child is now atypical and outside of the norms. And children, if they want to get your child to follow the norms of the group, they will bully your child. So children, young children like that bully to get kids to act along with them. All right. Gender typicality and positive peer relations. Peer relations, and then also the teacher is a graduate student. So the teacher is a grad student. I don't know why in Oklahoma they have grad students being teachers instead of TAs. I don't know how they're doing it out there. In my school, we don't have graduate students. We don't have students who are grad students who are independent teachers. In my school, which is an Ivy League school, my professors all have graduated. They have their PhD, they're acting psychologists. I'm in a psychology program right now. So I have psychologists, psychiatrists, researchers. I have like part of the benefit of going to a top school is that you get top talent attracted to that school. So I don't know why a damn grad student is hosting classes anyway. That don't sound right to me. All right. I mean, but it can be anything. It can be style of dress. I went to school in Brooklyn and I'm from the Bronx. And when I was in school, the kids were wearing Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, Carl Kanai. This is how far back in the days it was. They was wearing Carl Kanai, Tommy Hilfiger, Guess. They were wearing all of these things. And I'm from the Bronx and we was not about that shit. And so when I was in school, people thought that they would be able to bully me. But this was in high school though. But in junior high, listen, I was the bully's bully. Like, this is how I got to where it is that I am right now. I was the bully's bully. Like, you was not going to bully other people in my presence. No, no. So I was the enforcer. I was the vigilante that was going around effing up the bullies who thought that they were going to bully people, and then the bullies would try to be my friend. But listen, so and there was this one girl. She was a big girl too. Like, I think she was left back. Like, when kids get left back at that age, they are so much bigger. So it was this big girl in my elementary school, and she came into the school. She was new, and so I guess she was like the new kid on the block, so she wanted to assert her dominance, and she thought that she was going to be bullying people. And let me tell you, so my father, listen, they call me Tonya TKO, but my father was a boxer. Listen, my father was a boxer, and so my father taught us how to box when we were little. And so this girl thought she was going to come to the school new and that she was going to bully people in the school, right? And Tonya said, nothing no go so, not here, not now, not with me around, right? And so I was the bully's bully. I didn't bully other kids, but I was like Dexter Morgan, the serial killer. That was me. I used to bully the bullies who thought that they were going to bully other people for whatever the reasons they thought they was going to bully these people for. So when I got into high school, with my Bronx dress, because listen, my parents was not spending money on no designer, nothing for me. Listen, if I got Skippies, listen, I wore Skippies. You all remember Skippies? What was the song they used to sing for Skippies? Listen, I wore Skippies. I did have some Levi's because I thought Levi's were cute. But other people were like, oh, they wanted me to be wearing Guess and all this other stuff. And people thought that they were going to be able to bully me. And I remember there was this one young lady who she was popular among the other students. And one day we were out at gym. And she had a bunch of people standing beside her, right? And she thought, so this is what she thought, right? She thought she was going to be able to bully me so that it could be cute for the other kids, right? And so she tapped me on my shoulder. She was like, Tonya, she tapped me on my shoulder. And when I turned around, she slapped me in my face, right? She slapped me in my face. And so, so I told you I grew up in a house with a boxer who taught us how to box when we were little. And my reflex kicked in because it was her standing here and there was a whole bunch of people behind her. She tapped me on my shoulder and she said, Tonya, right? And I turned around and she slapped me. And when I tell you, I took my hand in a fist and I pulled this, listen, more than 180 degrees. I pulled my hand around in a fist like this, and I clubbed her on the side of her damn face. I clubbed her on the side of her damn face. And this girl, let me tell you, because she tapped me, I turned around and she slapped me and I clubbed this girl, and this girl went just like this. She went, and then she turned right around and she walked away dazed and effing confused. Dazed and confused. Dazed and confused. I don't know why she decided to try to do that day, but that was the last that I heard of that. That was the last that I heard of that. That nothing, not from her or the people behind her. Nothing. Not. I don't know why she decided to do that day. I don't know if she thought that because I'm not with. Listen, it takes a lot of courage to go against the grain. If you see me and you see me, I'm not wearing your designer clothes. I'm not a follower, babe. I'm not a follower. I'm not. And I have to be able to have enough strength, courage, and conviction to be able to walk in my truth and my path. Because when I went to Macy's to go look, right? and see, because I was like, oh, those sweaters are cute. But when I looked and I saw the price of one of those sweaters and was like, oh, I could go to Strawberries and get 3 sweaters, 4 sweaters for that price. I folded that sweater back up at Macy's and I put it back on the shelf. I said, no, not for me. Not for me. And even to this day, you don't catch me out in designer clothes. As a matter of fact, you see me, I'll be wearing the same clothes in all of my, not the same clothes, but the same style of clothes in all of my videos. I don't care. And there were people online. Well, how many of you remember the people who would come out online who would try to bully me about the fact that I'm wearing the same style dress and same style? I have multiples of them, yes, but that's nobody else's concern. I wear a uniform in my videos from the same foundation that was started over 20 years ago, right? So no, no. I run this over here, and I'm not gonna go. Listen, and it doesn't stop in childhood. People try. This is, people try to, even to this day, people want conformity around them. They want to know, oh, you think like I think, you're a racist like I'm a racist, you're a this like I'm a this. And they want you to fall in line with them. And part of the reason that I'm doing this video is because I'm not falling in line with you because we both have liberal thinking. I'm not falling in line with you because I believe or don't, but what is the truth of the matter? I'm not falling in line with anybody simply because you say it, right? So someone is saying, and you guys are defending bullying. No, this is straight up ignorance and transphobia. There's people here that's defending bullying, right? Who here? Who here? Copy and paste the comment of the person who is defending bullying. If you are defending bullying in my comments, please put up a number 6. If you think bullying is okay, put up a number 6. Well, I told you I was the bully's bully. I thought bullying bullies was okay. So I'll put up a 6. I thought being a bully's bully was all right because I didn't think that what the bullies were doing was okay. And they needed somebody to put them in their damn place. That's what I thought. Because like you picking on the weakest, I'm going to pick on the strongest. You think you the strongest and you're going to pick on the weakest among us? I'm going to show you what it's like to be in the pecking order. All right? Huh. And I'm short too. I'm a little thing. You all think I'm big because I talk big talk, but I'm a short little thing. Anyway, let's continue forward. We done lost our track. So I'm not seeing all of the comments, but A is saying, I don't see anyone defending bullying. K is saying, so lots of people are GE failures through their lessons. You must have missed the definitions of reaction paper and the teacher's grading scale. I don't spend money on designer clothes. You can buy more clothes with the same amount of money somewhere else. Exactly. I like quality. I'm not spending extra money because somebody put their damn name on something. Let me put my name on it. That was a consequence, not bullying, Tonya. Okay, justice. Okay, listen. However we want to put it. All right, bullying, in my opinion, causes kids to be angry and end up hurting others. You know, that's not true from what it is that I've seen. From what it is that I've seen, children who are rejected turn to go inward. Why does a person lash out and start hurting other people? Well, they have they think that they're entitled to hurt other people. Bullying doesn't send a person into a school to do a school shooting. No, that's not why they bully. They bully because they feel that they're entitled to do that. I don't listen. There are so many different steps that can be taken before you go and grab a gun and shoot up your school. There's so many steps, and far too many of us are listening to the excuses of people who are mentally unwell. Part of the reason that people were ostracizing some of these kids in the first place is because there was something a little off about them. I saw a video yesterday of a man. God, I wish I'd saved this video because it was some wild stuff. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Because I Oh, you know what? Somebody sent this video to me, so I should be able to find it real quick, right? All right, let me see if I can go into my messages. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go into my general messages. You know what? Let me put on some music while I'm looking this up. 1 second. All right. All right, listen. Okay. All right. So I found it. I want you all to see this with me. If we're going to talk about, so I'm right now my final paper is on the manosphere and incels, red pill, and the passport bros. That's what my final paper is on. And I have found research papers that have researched these topics, which is really wild because I didn't realize I'd be able to find so many papers. But I want to show you all this right here. Trigger warning, sexual harassment. So if you're sensitive to sexual harassment, you can just mute the video and come back after this video plays. I just want to show you all this real quick, right? Okay, here we go.
What'd you say?
Just go to my house and fuck.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
I don't know him.
I'm not okay. I'm the baddest motherfucker in the whole multiverse. Let's fuck. Come on, let's go.
Okay, this is a little uncomfortable.
Let's go
Dude,
fuck.
get the fuck out of here. I swear.
The reason why the world is loose in color.
Yeah, I will. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's go fuck.
Who the fuck are
Let's
you?
go fuck, and then you can call the police.
Remember when cars came in more
Whatever.
shades than
Doesn't
just
matter.
bland? Back in the day, cars were like Skittles on wheels, bright reds,
What
sunny
is
yellows,
playing?
and electric blues.
Something is playing.
Now, we're living in a sea of Tesla grays and beige sedans. But why? Is it just a trend, or is there something deeper happening here? Imagine this, a world where vibrant colors slowly vanish,
This is
replaced by dull
ridiculous.
shades.
I want to know where this
It's
thing
not
is
just about
playing
design
from.
choices. It's about vibes. Bright colors spark joy, creativity, even rebellion. Dull colors, they make us blend in, feel uninspired, easier to control. Think about it.
It's not
What if
there.
this shift is a subtle way to lower our collective spirit?
I don't know what's
to make us
happening.
more
Let me check
obedient, more
all of
beige?
my things. This is Grammarly. This is the word count. This is the teacher. This is the humanist. Rankings, we did that. Transgender, we did open that. Google Gemini, we closed that. University of Oklahoma, the teacher's ratings.
I talk a lot about color psychology and the whole idea of why it works.
Okay,
but
I'm not
the bottom
seeing,
line is
where
that
is this
colors
coming from?
really
Let me
can
check my
change
other
the mood of a
window.
room, and it's the single most important element that a designer has to work with when they're creating mood in a room, is the colors, the amount of color contrast. So it starts with the colors you choose, whether they're light, whether they're grayed down, whether they're very dark, whether they're intense, but then also how they contrast with the other colors in the room. That's what creates the energy, or sometimes
Brother.
the lack of energy when you want something very calming and relaxing.
I don't
But
understand
colors
where this sound is
absolutely
coming
can
from.
change
Let me
the
close
way
this. Let me see
you
how many
feel and the
browsers
way
I
it
have.
feels.
This, let me see. Oh, there's another. Hold on. Here. Like, what are you doing? I have more than one window open, apparently. Unbelievable. Let me close all of these. Like, come on. That was really very annoying. I apologize, you all. I don't know why that happened like that, but it did. And that unnerved me. Let me close all of this stuff. And let me open back up my IG. I apologize, you all. I want you all to see, because so basically my final report is on incels, right? And part of what I'm seeing is that incels go into these communities where they talk with other men and they blame women for the position that they're in, for being sexless, for being ostracized, for being kept away from the dating pool. I want you to look at this man's face. Does this man look like he's all together mentally? Does he look like he's all together? Does he look like he is all right? Like they're asking him, are you all right? And he's like, let's go F. So a person like this is going to go behind the scenes, get some, he's like, I'm the baddest mother effer in the multiverse. So he may have gotten some sort of lines from the incel forums, and he's like, they're in the incel forums, they are saying that women actually like to be sexually assaulted. This is what they're saying in the incel forums. They're saying if you sexually assault a woman, she'll think that you're alpha and she'll enjoy it. This is what they're saying. These people are on the FBI's watch list because they are a hate group, and there's a lot of murders that have been associated to incel ideology. So this person right here is most likely an incel, and he's most likely mentally unstable. So when we talk about why children shoot up schools, when we talk about why men go on killing rampages, when we talk about why people are ostracized and what is considered bullying, this man is bullying these women right now. This man is harassing these women. Take a look and see. I just want you to see this foolishness. Take a look.
What'd you say?
Just go to my house and fuck.
Are you okay?
I take you to
No, I'm not okay.
I don't know him.
I'm not okay. I'm the baddest motherfucker in the whole multiverse. Let's fuck. Come on, let's go.
Okay, this is a little uncomfortable.
Dude,
Let's go fuck.
get the fuck out of here. I swear.
Hold on. Someone is saying, oh, hold on. You can't hear me. Hold on. Hold on. My bad. Let me restart my audio engine. 1 second. Testing. Okay, so can you all hear me now? Someone says I can hear. Okay. Go leave, come back. Tell the people to leave and to come back. I'm going to start the video over again so that we can see the video from the beginning. All right.
What'd you say?
Just go to my house and fuck.
Are you okay?
I take you to
No, I'm not okay.
I don't know him.
I'm not okay. I'm the baddest motherfucker in the whole multiverse. Let's fuck. Come on, let's go.
Okay, this is a little uncomfortable.
Dude,
Let's go fuck.
get the fuck out of here. I swear.
Call the police on me.
Yeah, I will. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's go fuck.
Who the fuck are
Let's
you?
go fuck, and then you can call the police on me. For raping or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Are you okay?
No, I just want to fuck.
You come this way.
What the fuck?
And you leave.
Dude, get away from me.
Let's go fuck. Call the police, whatever. Let's go fuck right now.
No.
Get away from me.
Yeah, let's go fuck right now.
Get away from me, dude.
Let's go to my house.
What
and
are you
fuck.
doing? No.
Let's go
Get
house.
away. What the fuck?
You want to go fuck?
No.
What?
You want to fuck?
Okay, you need to leave.
Absolutely not, sir.
Oh, I want to have sex with all these women.
Let's step up for a second.
He comes in here all the time.
Is it honestly attacking to somebody else?
So look, I need you to see that he is now in a physical altercation with the police. This is not just security. This is an actor of the city or the state who is acting in a law enforcement capacity as deemed by local enforcement authorities. So this is a person who our tax dollars pay to keep us safe. He said call the police was called, and look at this, look. He's calling for backup right now. Look, he's grabbing the police officer.
Okay.
Look.
What the fuck? He must be like
And the police has to shove him outside and start taking matters into his own hands. So I just want you to see. So when a person says that bullying leads a person to lashing out, this is some propaganda that you've been taught. Bullying is not what leads people to lashing out. There are a complex set of reasons that people lash out, but one of those things is that they feel entitled to, they feel they have no other recourse, but they also feel that that is a logical solution to what it is that they are experiencing. In their mind, a logical solution. So we have this man right here who is not well. Something is off about him, and he's sexually harassing these women in the store. And when a male police officer comes on the scene, he starts trying to grab at the male police officer and start trying to get into a physical altercation with the police officer. So if this person comes back and he shoots up the place, right? And I'm not endorsing any of that. I'm actually very much against that. But what I'm saying is according to the logic that one commenter had said. Is this person coming back because women rejected him and now he has to get back at these women? Is he doing this because of that? Or is he doing it because he has a mental health issue that is unaddressed and that he is not well and that he is taking his unwellness out on other people? So listen, there are plenty of things that people can do to address issues in relationships that they're having with other children. And unaliving everyone is not one of them. It just like I don't know what to say. That when you resort to capital M word, bullying is a form of isolation. There are lots of different types of bullying, and bullying does different things to different people. However, what leads people to a psychotic break and doing things that are psychotic is the psychotic break. That's what leads them to do it. Maybe the bullying led to or to fragile mental health. Parts of what they're discussing in here is suicidality among transgender youth or youth, not even transgender youth who do not fit typical gender norms. That's what the article was talking about. And so we're going to go back to the article very quickly, but to be honest, I've run out of time and we're going to have to just kind of leave things where it is. We're going to jump down to the conclusion. You all can, I apologize. I would say that you all can read this all on your own, but let's see if we can get to the conclusion. These are the sources that are cited. All right, so here's the ending discussion. So we read the introduction, or parts of the introduction, we read the abstract, and now here, let's get to the discussion. The current study examined the links among gender typicality, peer relations, and mental health outcomes. Overall, children in early adolescence thought of as popular peers as very gender typical, indicated by both the descriptions of hypothetical popular peers and the ratings of the participants themselves. Importantly, the links between being gender typical and being popular were not simply a reflection of gender typical children being liked more, although they were liked more. Consistent with blah, 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 hypothetical popular children were described as gender typical, but not necessarily pro-social. In addition, typicality predicted popularity even when likability was controlled. This supports the peer popularity literature that has consistently shown that being popular is not synonymous with being well-liked or having positive traits. So I told you all that I'm in a cognitive development class right now. And this kind of goes in line with what it is that we were talking about, being popular and being well-liked in early adolescence versus being in high school. So I believe that this is saying, let's go through this again because I'm having a hard time understanding. So we're going to go through it again. just so we kind of get a gist so that we have an understanding ourselves. The current study examined the links among gender typicality, peer relations, and mental health outcomes. Overall, children in early adolescence thought of popular peers as very gender typical, indicated by both the descriptions of the hypothetical popular peers and the ratings of the participants themselves. So apparently there was some hypothetical, and they probably described that in the here. Boy target, popular, rejected, combined. I want to see what some of the terms were. Peer rating, popularity, body image. I'm not able to go, here. Peer ratings, popularity, likability. Children were giving a roster of all the students in their grade who were enrolled in a health class. This resulted in 76 names for the sixth graders, 48 names for the seventh graders, and 47 names for the eighth graders. Because participants could bring the consent form back until the day of the administration, blah, 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 blah. It says the participants, here's a list of some of the kids in your school. We know that some of them are popular and some of them are not popular. Please circle the names that show how popular each kid is. So they circled the names. Let's see. We know that some of the boys are very typical of boys, meaning the boys are very boyish, and some of the girls are very typical of girls, meaning some of the girls are very girlish. But some of the boys are not very typical of boys, and some of the girls are not very typical of girls. So, so these were the variabilities. Let's just go back because I'm running out of time, so I have to get to class myself, and I have a long commute. So I have to just kind of get through this. All right, gender typical. Overall, children in early adolescence thought of popular peers as being gender typical, indicated by both the descriptions of hypothetical popular peers and the ratings of the participants themselves. Importantly, the links between being gender typical and being popular were not simply a reflection of gender typical children being liked more. So they're saying that it was not a reflection of gender typical children being liked more, although they were liked more. Hypothetical popular children were described as gender typical, but not necessarily pro-social. For example, boys were described as having a temper. In addition, typicality predicted popularity even when likability was controlled. This supports the peer popularity literature that has consistently shown that being popular is not synonymous with being well liked or even having positive traits. Okay. So remember I told you in my cognitive development class that the kids who were well liked were not necessarily the most popular. So liking and being well liked are not necessarily the same. Once you get out of elementary school, once you get into junior high school, the kids who are who are mean are the popular kids. So they have a social order where the popular kids are the ones that are not even well liked. So rather, gender typicality was associated with social status and prestige among peers. They're quoting their sources. Considering the importance placed on popularity by early adolescents, it is likely that children feel at least implicitly pressured from their peers to be gender typical to gain or maintain social status. High typicality was associated with positive peer relationships. Trying to scroll down. All right. High typicality was associated with positive peer relationships, while low typicality was associated with negative peer relationships. Children low in gender typicality reported more frequent gender-based teasing than more typical children. All right. Ironically, a majority of children experience teasing for being atypical at least once. This supports previous research indicating that many children feel at times atypical. Thus, children in early adolescence are not only feeling implicit pressure from peers to be gender typical, but explicit pressure as well. Because it is unclear from the current study, future research should examine the exact nature of teasing and should address how much atypicality children can express before being teased. And it talks about what future researchers should do. I will put the rest of this on the screen so that you can read this at your leisure. So we finished right here, right? So let me scroll it down so that you can read this. Pause to read at your own pace and leisure. It is time for us to get out of here. You can pause to read all of this. Just pause it and then just read through it. And then this is the end of the article. Okay. All right. All right, we have an apple that has come in. Let me check this apple real quick. That's not on the right page. Let's just go through the thing. Oh, my thing disconnected. No wonder. Let me reconnect my phone. I don't know what happened that made it disconnect, but let's see. Okay. Let us. I feel frustrated right now. All right. So here, let's see. All right. So Jonathan Shaw sent through $5. And he says, sending love. I agree. This teacher was wrong. Okay. Thank you so much for supporting the broadcast. Let me give you some hearts. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, someone else is saying, from my experience, from my personal experience, that is accurate. I don't know if we're talking about bullies or the teacher or whatnot, but I will say this. Let's go ahead and summarize so that we can jump out of here. Okay? My skin looks so pretty. I'm happy that I've been taking care of my skin. I was not able to offer the vitamin E for Christmas, but I'm hoping that I can do an early beginning of the year sale of the vitamin E as well as the vegan lipstick packs that I have. There's just so much going on with school. I haven't been able to really create the web pages and perform the customer service acts to be able to help get these things out to you all. So there's apparently somebody in here who's talking about trans stuff, and someone is saying, Ambi, no one is born trans. The whole premise is that it's an identity. Okay, listen, I think that I'll give you my personal opinion on this. And you know what? Can you all let me know when I'm slouching on the broadcast, because I've done some of my shorts, and while I'm editing them, I'm like, gosh, Tonya, you're slouching. So if you ever see me slouching, just type slouching, okay? So that I can be reminded to sit up straight. Okay, so I'm going to give you all my opinion on this issue. I'm just going to summarize, and then we're going to do the self-love lessons, and then we're going to jump out of here, right? If you want to send a Cash App through before we get off of here, now is the time to do it. The thing is on the screen right there, the QR code. All right. I think that the teacher, according to the evidence shown, was wrong for giving the student 0 points. In my opinion, the student, according to the teacher's own rubric, should have gotten 15 points for following the 2 parts of the out of 25 points, 15 out of 25, or some variation thereof. The teacher has to be able to defend the grade of 0 when the student, for those of you who are coming in late, this is the teacher's rubric right here. I'll put it on the screen. You can take a look at it. And this is the rubric right here. You can go to Wikipedia to see the rubric yourself, but this is the rubric. 5 points for clarity of writing, 10 points for reaction to some part of the content. So I believe they should have gotten 15 points, the student, and then 10 points for clear tie to the article. I do not think that there was a clear tie to gender typicality, etc. But I do think that the student talked about something that was in there, which was the bullying. So to give you my opinion on all of this, right? To get a shrimp emoji. Okay. Thank you. When I'm slouching, put up a shrimp emoji. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So I believe that the teacher was wrong. I believe that the teacher got in the teacher's feelings and gave the student a 0 grade because the teacher did not like what the student wrote. The teacher didn't, it seems like the teacher did not like the opinion of the student, but the teacher asked for opinions even if the student disagrees. And the student stated that the student disagreed and gave their opinion on why she disagreed. She cited the Bible, or she stated that the Bible is the reason why she feels this way. The teacher did not ask for any citations, and the student did not give any citations. The student gave her opinion based on what it is that she has learned from the Bible. She claimed that things were demonic and that Satan was telling kids to not want to be their gender, etc., etc., right? Someone is saying it's actually weird how you won't accept people when they tell you who they are. Keep on hating. What are you talking about? Listen, Ambi, I don't know what you're talking about. What? Maybe this person is talking to somebody else in the comments. No one has to accept anyone. No one has to accept anyone. And I think part of the issue is that there are people who are like, I'm going to force you to accept me. And you can't force people to accept you unless, of course, they are not accepting you and it is discriminatory. But on a personal one-to-one basis, you can't force someone to accept your version of reality. You can't. What you can do is you can say, listen, I feel this way, and I will only have people in my inner circle who respect how it is that I feel. You can do that, but you cannot go haranguing and harassing people to see your point of view. You can't. Oh, Ambi is saying, I didn't mean you, Tonya. I'm talking to Stardust. Well, okay. Let me see what's going on in the comments. What is Stardust saying? I must have missed it. So you are unwell. All of you are. What is happening? What's going on? What? What's that? I feel like I'm missing something. What's going on? I feel like I'm missing something. Can someone catch me up to speed on what the argument is? Right? Does anyone want to call in real quick and tell me what the argument is? Damn, we don't have the time. 11, let me see. Yeah, no, I'm going to be late for school. I have got to end this broadcast. Maybe we can have this discussion a little bit later. I don't know, but I know that I have to get out of here right now. Let's talk about self-love lessons. What is your self-love lesson from today's show? My self-love lesson is about doing my own research. My self-love lesson is about seeing for myself. That's my self-love lesson. Oh, the trending street interviews. Can you send some of those to me? Because I've not had a chance to even see what's going on. So can somebody get me up to speed with what's the argument inside the comments? It's not born that way. The claim is that it's an identity and choosing what people. Let me give my thoughts on the transgender issue, right? Because I did a presentation yesterday about the incels, the manospheres. I talked about the Vikings and how the Vikings were most likely incels of their societies. The men who went out raiding, looking for women to capture, looking for loot to plunder so that they could pay bride price. It is in the paper, and I'm citing sources. There's research that's been done on the early Scandinavian raids and what led these men, primarily men, to go out there on these raids, right? When I finished my presentation, one of the students in my class said that they disagreed with what it is that I said, or they disagreed in part because they said that this should not be a gendered issue, right? And I didn't understand what my classmate was saying about this not being a gendered issue. And I said, what do you mean? Men have been going out capturing women to be their quote unquote wives since before biblical days. Like, they've been doing this since before biblical days, right? And my classmate was like, oh, and just kind of was like I wasn't getting it. And I don't know if my classmate was saying that this is not a gendered issue because it wasn't men going out doing that, because I don't know their gender identity. Well, I'm talking about sex identity, the sex of the people who was going out doing these raids, as anthropologically shown by the bones at the grave sites. These were biological males. And I feel confused about how we are supposed to realistically talk about history and how we got to where it is that we are today if we cannot speak about sex. Now, listen, I'm a feminist and I am going to get my PhD in history, women and gender studies, as well as African American studies. Those are going to be my concentrations. And before all is said and done, I will probably write a book, a big research book about a topic that I'm passionate about. I'm not sure what it will be right now, but we'll talk about this next year as I'm preparing for my PhD applications, right? You all want a mini presentation? Oh, I wish I had time. Why didn't you say this earlier? Okay, so no, but listen. I can show you the presentation because I thought my presentation was a good one, but they was not feeling it. Some people was not feeling it. Some people in my feminism class seems like they don't like me. And I'm saying this based on, I'm in the class right now. I only got 1 or 2 more sessions in the class, but we'll go from there. I don't feel like we can have an honest conversation about history if we're going to pretend that there's no sex difference between males and females. There is a sex difference which has caused men to create these systems in which women have been farmed for our uteruses. We've been farmed and we've been enslaved for our childbearing capabilities. This is how we got into the situation that we're in right now. And so, I'm getting frustrated. Let me give my self-love lesson and then get out of here. My self-love lesson from today's show, and I want you to please put up your self-love lessons. As someone else has already put up their self-love lesson, the word not is in there. So listen, the self-love lesson has 3 parts, stated from the I, me, positive, affirmative. So words like I will, I am, I do, right? I be. These are positive, affirmative, right? We do not have words like not, no, never, don't. We don't have those words in a self-love lesson. Please recreate your self-love lesson. I'm going to read this and then try to see if we can change this around. I will not be party to the emotional bandwagon. It's important that I do my homework. Okay, so how do we change this around to take the word not out of there? So let's say I carve my own path. I do my own research. Let's do that. Because that's my self-love lesson as well. My self-love lesson is about being as neutral as I can and seeing the facts and letting the facts govern me. Let the facts govern my opinion. I understand that things I am watching may have a bias. So I do my own research. That's my self-love lesson, okay? That's my self-love lesson. So someone said, I would love to be in class with you, Tonya. They're missing out. Well, you know, listen, I'm working on becoming a university professor. So I'm working on two different things. I'm working on being a university professor, and I'm working on creating a curriculum for a Saturday school so that children who want to learn real history can come to my Saturday school, and you as a parent, you can sit in the back and you can learn real history as well. I want to create a kind of Montessori type of school where, and hopefully it can be more than just a Saturday school, but the thing is, if it's a private school, it's going to have to cost a certain amount of money. My vision is for people to rent out spaces in churches and community rooms and wherever the case may be, so that we can have real discussions that are low cost. I want to remove the barriers to entry, and I want to create a curriculum that you all can replicate in your perspective areas, so that a teacher can come in and teach the curriculum so that children can learn real history. White, black, yellow, brown, red, whoever it is that you are, I want you to be able to come and learn real history. I am going to be late for class if I don't leave right now. I will see you all in the next video. Go out and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. Let me see if I can get some music up on here for us to dance to. Here's a Christmas song. Here's a Christmas song for you all. I will see you all in the next video. And I'll probably do my presentation for you all, okay?
Santa Claus pulled up, come get the loot.
Hey.
You better been watching what you do.
Hey.
None of that list you got, they gon' go through.
Hey.
You been good, haven't you?
Oh.
Santa Claus pulled up, come get the loot.
Hey.
You better been watching what you do.
Hey. All right.
None of that list you got, they gon' go through. You been good, haven't you? I'm not trying to put demons in your mind. I just wanna wish you a good night. Hope you get the cream with the pie. And what's under the tree, hit your vibe. Couple of G's, couple good tries, couple of T's. That you gon' be and we're getting your C's. You with the right and took it too far. Look like a fool, even the mob worship. Look like a kid with the heart that's lit. Santa's bringing all he can fit. You do your part, he doing his art, yeah, like I'm the superintendent of this facility. I get the people what they want with agility. Yes, moving quickly, past ups and my enemies. They just file legends, but they all real of me. Trust me, I'm about to get you hooked up. I'ma get your jealous friends crying. On my R&B shift, I'ma get your Christmas vibing.